I fear Emily Henry cannot write romances. Can Emily Henry write a good book? Yes. Emily Henry can write a good book. I don't think she can write romance anymore. I fear I am a fraud. I am a fraud. I can't stick to commitments. I don't know what happened with this vlog, but I already finished both of these books. Yeah, I finished both of them. Let's start with this one. A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. I think I'm going to give this book 3.5 stars. And you know what? I hate giving or upping a full star point for a book just based on the ending, but that's exactly what I'm going to do with this book. So for the majority of this book, I have no idea where the update I gave was before, or even if I gave an update. I don't know. But this book is based on Norse mythology. It's basically about this girl. Her name is Freya, and she has the power of one of the gods, the god of a shield god. She has the powers of a shield goddess, and in this world various children or various people just have the power of the gods that they can call upon during battle or whenever they need it. So she has the power of the shield, and it is foretold that there will be a king that whoever wields the shield, which is wields Freya herself is the shield, will be the king of all nations, who will unite all the nations and will be the king of all. So once they find out that she is the shield, because that's something that her parents had told her to keep hidden her entire life, so once a king from a neighborhood territory finds out that she is the shield, he takes her to be his wife, and she becomes a tool of his quest for authoritarianism over all of the areas, right? So Freya is a shield. She's used as nothing but a tool of war. She has no autonomy. She has no thoughts. No one really cares about anything she says. It's very, very annoying to read about, honestly, because she's against it, but there's a part of her that accepts it. So she's not like my favorite main character because of that. Yeah, so she has to marry this king who already has a wife, so now she is the second wife of this king, and basically he's on a quest to either gain allies, or if he doesn't gain allies, to siege other places, siege other nations, and then eventually become their king. This king has a son. This son was once kidnapped by another faction, and then this king, who is now Freya's husband, rescued him, and he is in line for the throne. But there is another kid who is the kid of the king, who is now Freya's husband's first wife, who is also in line for the throne. So there's just like familial things going on with succession over there, but she starts to have feelings for the son of her current husband, and that's how the romance fits into this fantasy. So here is where I am with this book. In telling that and in rejogging my memory, because I read this a couple days ago, I'm lowering this down to a 3-star. A 3-star that I will read the sequel. So there's two types of 3 stars. There's 3 stars where I'm like, I'm done, I will not read the sequel. And usually, you know, all fantasies pretty much have a sequel. I read mostly fantasy. There's 3 stars where I won't read the sequel. I'm like, this was a 3-star, but I don't need to know more. This one, because of the ending, is what took it to a 3-star. I want to know more. But the entire of this book is a bit not redundant. It's interesting. It's like, you know, very basic fantasy world building, very basic characters. Freya herself, the only idiosyncratic or specific thing I can say about Freya is Freya's freaked out. Freya is freaked out. Like, there is no reason. You are now a tool of war. You have been betrayed by everybody you know. Everyone you know is pretty much an op. It's pretty much just not worthy of your time, just not worthy of your loyalty, yet you give it to them anyways. There's no one good in your life right now, and all she could think about is this boy freaked out over this boy. I'm just like, Freya, you are literally like a tool, you're a tool of war. Like, you are a victim of every single type of violent crime there is, and you are a tool of war, and all you can think about is wanting to bone this guy. And I'm like, I fear we have conflated the word romance with just anything that has to do with two characters being sexually attracted to each other, because that's all that is. There's no building to this romance. There's absolutely nothing that would make you think that these two fell in love. These two didn't know each other before the book started, so there's nothing for you to think that these two were in love before the book starts, so that's where there's no build-up. There is just nothing. There's no romance. These two just want to go to bed with each other. That is it. And it was so frustrating for it to try to be a plot point, for it to be a reason for Freya to be having this push and pull in her head. You are a tool of war. You have been through just trials that should never befall anyone against your will, and all she can think about is this man. And it's just not believable. Freya, you freaked out. She be in the middle of war, friends dying, foes dying, people dying. She about to wreak havoc on 2,000 nations, and all she could think about is this man and the fact that his shirt is ripped so she could see his chest. I'm like, Freya, Freya, can we get it together, please? Like, it's just very, yeah, Freya too freaked out. So for that, I will get the next book. By will, I mean I already got it. I got it off of Pango. I wasn't about to spend another $30 on a hardback, which is what I spent on this before I knew it was a Danielle L. Jensen book. It is so funny. I think this is my third Danielle L. Jensen book. I have yet to give her higher than 3 stars. Which, you know, I never dislike a book and I never don't enjoy one of her books. I never am amazed. I am never in love. So yeah, but I did finish this book. Do I recommend it? I mean, why not? You can read it if you want. Is all I can say, honestly. Freya too freaked out and it just annoyed me so much. And I think it's a thing that's happening with romantasy all across the board, that it's just insta love. It's very much going back to the young adult books of decades ago. That's how these adult books feel, but because it's an adult book, it's just with like unnecessary smut. So I'm just like, I wish you would just actually build upon these characters as individuals and also as potential partners, instead of just being like, wow, we're so attracted to each other, which means it's love, marriage, happiness. It's not. So that's why I'm at this book. I will read the sequel, not in this reading vlog. I think maybe this year. No, I mean, I don't know. I also finished Great Big Beautiful Life. This book I think took me to longer than any other book, save this one book I'm reading right now about a girl who brings Selena, the singer, back from the dead. It took me so long to get through this book. I could not do it, but I did do it. And another 3 stars. Again, a thing with this book too, it was literally 70% of the book. I was like, take it or leave it. I was battling DNFing this book at every single page. So I gave a synopsis about this book before. So it's told kind of like there's 2 stories. So there's these 2 journalists who are kind of vying for the chance to tell the story of the last in this family dynasty. Think of like a Hollywood dynasty. So the last surviving member of this dynasty who had disappeared for a long time, and now she's back and she wants to tell her family story. This is the family that has been in the tabloids for decades, millennium. That's very important to American history in this book, American entertainment in this book. There's a bunch of like, there's Elvis. Is it Elvis, or did I just liken him to an Elvis? But there's like, you know, just a very big Hollywood family, and she's the last one to tell her tale. So there's 2 people, the female main lead and the main male lead, who are vying for the chance to tell this story. I fear Emily Henry cannot write romances. Can Emily Henry write a good book? Yes. Emily Henry can write a good book. I don't think she can write romance anymore, because this, weirdly enough, falls into a similar thing with this book. Not the same, like the main character, what's her name? Alice? She's not freaked out. She's not freaked out like Freya. But the romance is similar in like, there's no buildup. There's really, I really don't. There's more buildup definitely than in Inked in Blood, but it's still not enough for me to be like, oh, I am seeing these people on page fall in love. In this book, it seems to be trying to be just as much of a romance as it is being literary. So in order for those 2 things to be kind of equally yoked, the romance needs to be built upon in some way. It's not being done. It's really just a thing of proximity here. And the only thing that we have to really build upon the fact that these 2 characters are romantically getting acquainted is the fact that we have no other male or female characters that are in this book that are viable options, if that makes sense. So yeah, I did not feel the romance. And also Emily Henry in this book managed to give her own main character syndrome. She just did not feel like the person who was pushing this book. She did not feel like the main character of this book. Who felt like the main character of this book was Margaret. Even though Margaret has less than a tenth of the speaking or the narrative role in this book, she still felt like more of the main character than Alice. And even when Emily Henry tries to give Alice depth, like tries to give insight into Alice's relationship with her mother, it seems it's not really there. It's trying to create this tragic relationship between her and her mother, but it's not fleshed out enough for me to understand what it is until the very end. I'm like, oh, okay, I get what you're feeling now, but the entirety of the rest of the time, I'm just like, you don't like your mom? And it's seeming like teenage angst because you're not explaining it. It just seems like, oh, my mom. And I'm like, you're a grown woman. I feel like you need to give us more in order for us to really understand the layers to this relationship that you're trying to pinpoint as a big part of this book and of this character, but it's just not sinking. Same with Hayden. His relationship also with like other people and his character, it's just very lowly fleshed out. The part that is fleshed out is when Margaret is telling the narrative about her and her family. That is really fleshed out. She has managed to give those characters more depth, more sense, more not senses, but just they feel more tangible than the main characters of these books. These main characters of these books seem to be just a vehicle to help us as the reader figure out Margaret's story. So I'm like, these main characters, they don't feel like main characters at all, and their romance felt so without substance. Like, there was no romance in this book. And I saw someone saying this on YouTube, how nothing is ever shown to us in romance books anymore. Everything is told to us, so we're just expected to believe it. The same way with A Fate Inked in Blood, we're just told these people like each other, like there's an attraction there, but there's nothing showing us. There's nothing that's like we have to read between the lines. We're just saying like, hey, these people like each other, believe it by these words, as opposed to like, here am I showing you that these two could potentially like each other, and here's how it's building, and you have to see the lines and like you yourself make a conclusion like these people, they're starting to like each other more than they did in the beginning of the book. No, you're just told like now they like each other. They didn't before, but now they're falling in love. Like, are you seeing it? Can you see it? I'm telling it to you, so you should see it, but you're not seeing it because you're telling it to someone. Hopefully that makes sense. But that's what happens here. So the romance in this book, I would give a 1.5 out of 5. The other parts, here's the thing, I did like the ending. I feel like when everything starts to wrap up, and the way Emily Henry writes and connects all of the characters at the end is so interesting, and I loved that. I love that. That honestly almost took it to a 4 for me. But what brought it back down to a 3, potentially a 2.5, is right after that. So like, let's say if 0.75 to 95, I'm like, it's just hitting the fan. I'm like, don't talk to me. I lock my door. I am going to just be reading. And then the last 5%, she's just like, and let's wrap it up. It's done. I have reached my page count. I've reached my word count. I'm done writing this book. Let's just wrap it up in 2, maybe 2.5 pages. And that's exactly what she did. So I was like, okay, I get it. You are tired, but the way it wrapped up was horrible. I'd say horrible. It just left, I feel like, every single door still open, and we got no closure as the reader. We don't know what about this penultimate revelation is going to happen with our main characters, about Margaret, none of it. And the things that we do get are very, very superficial. It's just like, oh, well, they're good now. Well, that part is done now. Well, it's all good now. And I was like, that's such a cop-out. It seems like you didn't know how you wanted to end it. You knew what you wanted to twist. You knew how you wanted to connect it and what you wanted like the wow moment of this book to be, but post that, it's just like, and scene. And I was like, that felt undone, weird. So 3 stars to this book. The best part of this book is when the main characters are not on scene. And this is the point I wanted to make. Actually, I feel like Emily Henry's writing of romance has degraded, but it's degraded to the same rate as all romances have degraded. Like something as simple as this, just, you know, telling us that these people are in love. It's the same thing that's happening here. So I think it's a broader thing that we have within romance. And I actually used to think, like, not to put Emily Henry on a pedestal, but I used to think she was a bit outside of that, because I liked a lot of Emily Henry's books. I have a lot of them right here because I was gonna make a point. I forgot what that point was, but People With Me on Vacation, I'm pretty sure is my favorite Emily Henry book. Beach Read might be my second favorite Emily Henry book. I have it somewhere. I don't have it right here. Funny Story, I think, is my third favorite, and the last one that I actually liked. I hated Happy Place. I hated Book Lovers. And for me to even read more than one Emily Henry book, because Emily Henry low-key also writes the same book. Let me set the scene. Girl is in a weird place with her career, so she leaves the city in which she's from, that she's always wanted to be in, or that she is meant to be in for some circumstance, and she goes some other place, and a romance ensues with a man in this other place, and now she has to make a decision whether or not the location that she was at is where she needs to be. That is this. I think the location here is New York, and it's the job that that's the penultimate decision she has to make at the end of it, right? Right. Funny Story. This is a roommate romance, right? So this girl is now moved somewhere for a man. That man is no longer in the picture, so she starts a budding romance with somebody else. So now she needs to decide whether or not she stays in this city in which she's not originally from, or goes back to where she is originally from. Different career. So it's always female male character setting and career decision over love. Every single one of her books. Book Lovers, I can't lie, I don't remember a lick of this book. I'm pretty sure she goes somewhere and there is a cabin or a place she is renting. So she is not, also, same thing, she's not in the city where she is meant to be. and meets a guy. They have their romance in this area that's temporary. They have a romance in this area that's temporary, and because it's temporary, there's two things like that's hinging on this romance. It is the location in which they are at, because they can't stay there, or can they, and the job, because she can't stay there wherever she is because that's not the location of where her job is. Those are the two things. I'm talking specifically with the female main character. The male main character is always just the one that's pushing the catalyst for this woman to like either leave where she is or be where she is. Like there's very little stakes for the main male character, but the female main character always has setting and job. Where do I want to be and do I want to work here? Happy Place. This is the one with the fiance that also broke up. Same thing here. I don't think there's a no, there is a job. There's a huge job component in this. Isn't she a doctor or something? I don't really remember, but I know this whole thing takes place in a cabin in which they call a happy place. So the girl is outside of her setting. I think she may be a doctor, and she's been focused on being a doctor her whole life. Now she's finally got it, but now her fiance needs to move back home for his family, so she has to choose whether or not she leaves the city in which she works, and chooses romance. So this one, this girl has to go to this island to interview this person who's a potential break in her career. So she's in a different setting, and this thing is based on her career, and she has to decide what she wants to do afterwards because she doesn't live in the same city or work in the same city as the man, or where her career, all of it. It's choose the man or the career in the city. It's every single one of her books are exactly the same. And she got me. I ain't even gonna lie. She got me for 2 of them. I keep saying I liked Funny Story, but did I? I do love a roommate romance, but I don't actually remember what I actually gave it. Actually. So she writes the exact same book, and I do feel that the romance in these books has degraded over time. You can literally stack them up in order, and I think the romance in People We Meet on Vacation and Beach Read. I didn't read any Emily Henry before that. I just didn't. I wasn't reading a lot of contemporary romances. Yeah, before. I think Beach Read was the first one before Beach Read came out. So I don't know what she did before that, if they were even better. But you can stack them up in chronological order, and I feel like there's a degradation in the ability of her to write good romances that are showing, that are not telling. But I will say her writing and the stories that she's able to tell outside of the romance, or even like as with the romance as a side, that hasn't degraded. So there's that. So I have no idea what I'm going to do with the next Emily Henry book. Like, I'm acting like this is such a big deal. I could just truly not read it. But now I'm on a roll. I feel like I have a thesis here. Like, setting, job, or man is really Emily Henry's thing. So I might. But I actually took so long to read this. I will probably wait until it's on paperback. Maybe even at doing the used bookstore rotations before I actually get it. So that is that. I actually don't even know if there is enough in this reading vlog to be a full video. If there is though, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you if you made it to the end. I hope you liked this video. Let me know what you think of Emily Henry. Let me know what you think of the current state of romance and this issue that we're having as a collective romance reading community. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.